Hey, what's going on, guys? Alex Bracer with your weekly fishing report, and we're going to start with your rock fishing for the upper bay area from Annapolis and north. Most of your action right now has been pretty much it's been located in the deeper water, anywhere from 30-40 foot of water. Mainly trolling is going to be your most productive method of fishing for stripers right now. Most of these fish are going to be schooling up closer to the bottom on those channel edges, anywhere, like I said, between 30 and 40 foot of water. Pretty much what you need to do is get your lures closer to that bottom. You don't have to be on the bottom, but get close enough to it. A lot of those fish are schooling up there, like I said. Water temperatures are around 57 this week in the Annapolis area, with some cooler temperatures north of Annapolis. We also have runoff from this past few rain showers that we had this week. So in the rivers there's decent amount of murky water, so it's kind of shutting off things. Most of your action is still pretty much south as that bait exits the bay, and everything's going to be focused in that general southern bay area in the next few weeks. So methods of doing that is going to be trolling. There's still some chunking that you can do around the same typical areas that you always do in the points, which you can do around Hickory Point. There's still some people catching some fish, and as we've been saying, you have to fight through the catfish to get to them. Cut line is going to be your best bait, and as you know, we have it, but you have to call us ahead just to see if we have it. It's getting a little bit tougher to get that bait for you guys. Any kind of frozen bait that you have, either cut, spot, or frozen soft crabs or peelers, are going to be the ticket to be to get some of those fish chunking on the bottom right now. Like I said, go a little bit deeper. If you are going to go out there and chunk some bait, you need to get a little bit deeper into that 30-40 foot of water on the edges, and just have time, be patient, since those fish are kind of getting a little bit sluggish this time of the year. Now, Eastern Bay has been productive right now. Most of the guys there have been catching fish in that lower part by the hill, Poplar Island. And if you're trolling and you don't want to use inline weights, you can still use your planers that you use for your speed trolling, or just to get them down with not having such a big inline weight. And use some of these spoons. Tony's 17 size are great for this time of the year. 2.53 miles an hour is going to be the ticket. Put that on like a size 3 planer. That's going to get it kind of close enough to the bottom, and that should be your ticket for trolling. And of course, 6-inch shads with on your teasers, and you can still have your 6-inch shads for your main jig on your umbrellas, but it's not a bad idea to start putting some of those 9-inch shads on your umbrellas right now. If you are trolling in this upper bay area, I'm going to say anywhere between south of the bridge towards Bloody Point or Thomas Point, that's going to be a good tactic to use right now. There was some fish reported from the Patapsco River this past week inside closer to the Key Bridge, but not much fish, and smaller size fish. Since the bait's pretty much moving out of that area, those fish are chasing the bait. Now, jigging wise, that's going to be the areas too that you want to find. You want to use 3/4 to 1 ounce jigs, skirts on them or non. They're going to work pretty good. Basic colors of the water clarity. If it's clear, use your clear colors, natural colors. If it's murky water, use your chartreuse colors and brighter colors. 6-inch BKDs, 7-inch bustums are going to be the way to go now. For you guys fishing south, Chesapeake Beach, towards Solomon's, in Point Lookout, you're finding great conditions for you guys out there whenever it's not super windy. Most of you guys have been jigging around 72, 72A and finding a lot of breaking fish throughout the day, and you can catch them all kinds of ways in that general area. Guys from Point Lookout towards Cobb Island are finding a lot of fish in the Potomac, and same thing for you guys fishing from the Patuxent River, in the mouth of the Patuxent and up the river this for this time of the year. There's actually a lot of fish in the mid-20s to mid-30s down that way, so if you're trying to get into some more action, you definitely should head down that way. Now, remember, there's you can still catch them sometimes in shallow. It's going to be more of your morning bite or whenever you have a warmer day. And we have smackets back in stock. We have 3 colors on the bigger size, and we have, I think, 3 or 4 colors on the smaller size today. Smaller size. So if you need to, get a few, or you're trying to get a great Christmas present, then this is going to be a great thing to get for, for a gift or something like that. And that's going to be a great thing, since you can get, those rarely around the area. SB minnows, great for the bottom, using them around the shoreline and whatnot. Great for surf fishermen. They catch all kinds of fish, but if you're fishing, any shallow water area, you should get some of these guys here too. Not just the SB minnows, but any kind of stick bait. Now remember, there's all kinds of fishing around the area right now, not necessarily just rock fishing. As the water temperatures drop, there's stuff picking up in the back of the creeks right now, and we have pickerel fishing, yellow perch, and even some white perch still up there. In certain areas, you're going to be able to find other stuff. For example, Magothy River, pickerel has been picking up in the middle section of the river. Any of the creeks there, like Old Man's Creek, and up towards the headwaters. And some of the lures I love to use for them is the X-Wraps. Anyone from the small size to the mid size here. White, perch color, those work great. Make sure you have some of those for your pickerel fishing. They catch not just pickerel, but even the perch will hit the little guy here. And if you have bass and crappie around your area, they will hit those guys. Something else that I mentioned before is the super rooster tails. Those guys will pretty much catch about everything, and don't be surprised if you catch some rockfish in those areas too. And so remember, carry some of these little jigs here. We have the Captain Bert's jigs here. They're great to put a little minnow behind them, toss them out there on a bobber, or just jig them off the bottom, and they'll work great. If you're fishing a little bit deeper water, we have a new addition here. This is going to be a 1/8 of an ounce jig. So you can put a minnow on there, or just jig it by itself, put some gulp in it, and they'll definitely catch fish around the edges. Some other options you have for your crappie and perch fishing is a soft plastic if you don't want to use bait. Bass Assassin stick shats like this on a 2-inch size works really good. And also, if you just want to reel in something with a little 1/16, 1/8 of an ounce jig, there's this little striking paddle tails that we have. Remember, there's a lot of runoff, so it's going to be a little bit murky in some areas. So make sure you use some brighter colors for right now. The reports are coming in for some yellow perch in the Magothy, Middle River area, and also around the Severn River area. So if you can find access, some public access, for example, Magothy, you can go to Beechwood and shore fish from there. Make sure you take some waders down there so you can walk around the park. Middle River area, I know there's some parks around there, and there's actually some areas where you can launch kayaks or boats. So check those areas out. The Severn River is not so much open for public, but if you have a boat there, make sure you get it out and head to the upper waters of the upper headwaters of the river. Eastern Shore, it's that time of the year. Tuckahoe Creek, lots of pickerel. The lake itself has a decent amount of crappie, so make sure you give that a shot. Wide mills, crappie fishing from the shore or the little stream also works great. And there's some of the streams down there, like the Upper Chop Tank, that will definitely hold some perch and some crappie. So make sure you check them out. And that's it for your fishing report. A couple things I want to go over is we're going to be having a great sales for Black Friday. That's going to start the 21st. And we have details on our website coming out soon about what's going to be on sale. So make sure you keep an eye on that. Get great gifts, Christmas gifts for all your outdoors, guys that you have in your family, or gals that you have in your family, and keep an eye on that. Make sure you send us your pictures, what you're catching out there. Thank you guys. You guys have a good one.